All right, today we're diving deep into a really critical piece of cybersecurity tech, SIEM solutions. Now, our guide for this journey is a fantastic report from Bob Slovic over at Virtualization Options LLC. They're a Colorado-based research and advisory group that really knows their stuff. And it all kicks off with one simple question.
Seriously, think about that for a moment. Every single day, your company's digital world is just shouting. It's giving you clues, warnings, bits of information. But in that absolute ocean of noise, how on earth do you pick out the one tiny whisper that's actually a threat? That right there, that's the massive problem we're going to unpack. So here's our game plan. We'll start by digging into that security data problem. Then we'll introduce our hero, the digital detective. We'll check out its toolkit, figure out how to choose the right one for you, and finally, look at what this all means for a much smarter, safer future.
Okay, let's set the scene. I want you to picture your entire IT environment, the whole thing, as this enormous, sprawling crime scene. The clues are literally everywhere, but so is a whole lot of just random, meaningless junk. The problem isn't that we don't have enough information, it's that we are drowning in it.
You know, every firewall, every server, every single app you use is constantly writing down what it's doing. We are talking about millions upon millions of log events every single day. Now, without some kind of central system trying to manually dig through all of that to find one bad actor, it's like trying to find one specific grain of sand on every beach on the planet. It's impossible. So, how do you solve an impossible problem? Well, you call in a master detective. And in the world of cybersecurity, that detective has a name: SIEM. This is the technology that was literally invented to bring some kind of order to all of this digital chaos. So SIEM stands for Security Information and Event Management. And yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, but the name actually tells you everything you need to know. Its whole mission in life is to be the one central spot that collects, understands, and analyzes all your security data as it's happening so you can spot trouble long before it becomes a disaster.
Okay, so how does our digital detective actually work the case? Well, it's a pretty straightforward four-step process. First, it goes out and collects all the evidence, every log from everywhere. Then, and this is key, it normalizes that evidence, basically translating it all into one common language so it can actually look for patterns. Third, it starts connecting the dots, correlating events that might seem totally random on their own. And finally, when it finds something suspicious, it responds by shooting off an alert or even automatically taking action to shut an attack down.
All right, so every good detective has a toolkit, right? A magnifying glass, a fingerprint kit. Well, a SIEM is no different. It comes with a few absolutely essential capabilities that make it such a powerful partner for any security team out there.
This toolkit really has four main gadgets. You've got log management, which is all about collecting and organizing the clues. Then there's threat detection. That's the brainy part that finds the bad guys' patterns. Incident response gives you the tools you need to actually do something about it. And finally, you have compliance reporting, which basically automates all the boring paperwork to prove you're following the rules, for things like GDPR or HIPAA.
Okay, so you're probably convinced by now you need one of these detectives on your team. But how do you hire the right one? This isn't just about buying a piece of software. It's a huge strategic decision, and that report from Virtualization Options really hammers this point home.
So, picking the right SIEM, it all starts by asking the right questions. Does this thing actually line up with what our business is trying to achieve? Is it going to solve our unique security headaches? Can it grow with us as we get bigger? And maybe the most important one, what's this thing really going to cost us, not just today, but over the next 5 years?
And one of the first huge decisions you'll face is where this detective is going to live. You could go on premises, which means you build everything yourself. That gives you total control, but man, it is expensive and you need some serious experts on hand. Or you could go with a cloud-based SIEM, which is way more flexible and usually cheaper upfront, but you are handing over some of that control. It's a massive trade-off.
And when we talk about cost, you have got to look way beyond that initial sticker price. That software license, that's just the tip of the iceberg, often less than half the real cost. You have to factor in the hardware, the ongoing maintenance, and the training for your people. Looking at this total cost of ownership is absolutely 100% critical.
And please, don't stop there. You have to ask a few more questions. How well does it play with the tools you already own? Is the dashboard actually easy to use when things are hitting the fan? Can it do the really advanced stuff, like proactive threat hunting? And hey, what happens when you need help at 2 a.m.?
Is the vendor support any good? These are the things that will make or break your success with a SIEM.
So, let's wrap this all up. What's the final verdict here? Is a SIEM just another fancy piece of software that's going to collect dust? Or is it something more?
You know, this quote from the Virtualization Options report just nails it. It says, "The goal is a solution that balances capabilities, performance, and cost, aligning with your organization's unique security posture." There is no single best SIEM out there. The best one is the one that finds that perfect balance for your company, your budget, and your team.
And really, this is the most important thing to remember. A SIEM is not just another tool. It's not just another alarm system. It is the foundational, central brain of a modern, proactive security strategy. It's what lets you stop just reacting to fires and actually start predicting where they might start.
And that really leaves us with one final big question to chew on. In a world where the threats are changing every single day, is your security strategy just built to fight yesterday's battles, or is it truly ready for whatever's coming next?